So, what is data science? Data science is the talk of the town, right? So, before we talk about data science, right, we'll try to understand what exactly analytics is all about. So, what is analytics in general? So, in the case of business, right, most of you are you're all right, working professionals, and what is analytics? So what we do is the backbone for the data analytics is your data, right? Obviously, you need to have data. Without data, you cannot perform any kind of analytics. So see, for the analytics, the backbone is the data, and also math, right? So we use some math or arithmetic. We perform some kind of arithmetic operation to gain more insight around metrics or something like that, right? So analytics is nothing but we use the data to answer on and some kind of aggregations. We perform some aggregations using some mathematics to answer the business questions, and also right, while you perform analytics, you will tend to get to know the relationship between the variables and also it help you to predict the unknown outcomes, and it will help you to automate the decisions. But traditionally, as part of data analytics, if you speak to any business intelligence people, they say, right, yes, even in the case of business intelligence, there are two branches. One is the ETL part, other one is reporting part. If you speak to the reporting people, they say they'll be using different reporting tools like Power BI, Microsoft Power BI, and some people they say they'll be using, they must be using the data visualization tools like Tableau or ClickView. Likewise, they use different tools to generate reports from the processed data. So, what we are getting in the real time scenario or from our source system is a raw data. With that raw data alone, we cannot gain any insight. So, what we do is, right, we process those data. For example, if my manager gives me 3 weeks sales data or order data, that is a raw data. So, and if he asks me what is the based on that, if he asks me many questions like what is the return on asset, what is the return on equity, right? So if you ask different questions, because if you take any organization, different departments, they have different objectives, right? Different departments have different objectives, and based on their objectives, they expect us to generate some reports. That reports can or that whatever the report we give it to them, that is the driving force for them to make the decisions whether they can go ahead with certain or go ahead and make some certain decisions or not, right? So that is how it will help them, these reports. Okay, so but these reports, with the help of these reports, they'll get to know what is happening currently. These are all kind of operational reports or MIS reports. Maybe, right, you will be sharing some dashboards, the digital dashboards. These dashboards or reports can help them to understand what is, or it gives them a snapshot of what is happening currently or what happened in the past. Okay, and if they wanted to know what is going to happen in the future, they will not be able to envision the future just by looking at the current and past data. Right? With the current data, okay, we have a lot of tools are available, or sophisticated, robust data visualization tools like see now we have Amazon, AWS. We have something called Quick Insight, using which also you can generate awesome reports. Likewise, different reporting tools are there. But if I want to know, right, the future, it is very difficult to predict the future with the help of these tools. Okay, so for example, there are some sales related key performance indicators. What is key performance indicator? These are the metrics. For example, sales growth and sales target. What is the customer's acquisition cost? What is the customer lifetime value? Right. So these are all the examples for the key performance indicators. Take for example in the case of healthcare, because now because of the COVID, right? Everybody is talking about medicines and those things. But when it comes to healthcare, what kind of reports or the key performance indicators they are using? The treatment cost is one of the examples, right? For the key performance indicator, the metric, right? What is the treatment cost? What is the wait time, right? In the emergency room, right? What is the wait time? What is the patient wait time, right? And these are all the examples for the this one, the inpatient and outpatient, right? How long a patient has to wait outside the operation theater or outside the lab in the hospital, right? How many number of patients are there got admitted, right? And what is the average treatment cost, average, the emergency room wait time, right? So if somebody has some shortness of breath, when they rush to the hospital, as soon as they rush to the hospital, they will not be getting the bed in the emergency room, right? Because already patient health is deteriorating, his oxygen level is going down, but still many patients got admitted, right? How long a patient has to wait in order to get a bed in the emergency ward, right? So wait time, those are all the metrics, simple metrics. What do they do with this metrics? Why do they need these metrics? Why do they need these metrics? See, and also, right, patients are waiting, right? So again, what they do is, across the division, right? See, if somebody says, right, in that hospital, the waiting time is too high. If they make something a generic statement, it will not be acceptable. If somebody makes some generic statement like, hey, in that hospital, whenever I go, lot of wait time. So again, they'll ask you, okay, which department you went there? Because last week I took my parents, the wait time was not that more. So in that case, what comes to our mind is, right, the patients by division or department, surgery. When it comes to surgery division, what is the wait time? When it comes to neuro department, what is the wait time? And cardiology and oncology, dermatology, or dentist, right? So dentist, what is the wait time? So by knowing this, right, department wise waiting time, by knowing this, you will get to know. So you can make some course correction why in so and so department the wait time is very high. So what is the solution we can come up in order to reduce the wait time? Unless you have the metric, how do we know where the wait time is more? If you don't measure, if you don't monitor, what will happen? Patients will not come to your hospital at all. Always when I go to the hospital, lot of rush, heavy rush, no care, nothing, right? To improve patients' experience, right, and also to improve the standard of the hospital, they are using some key performance metrics or KPIs. These KPIs will enable them to understand and come up with the workaround in order to address the issues, like the classic example, wait time, department wise wait time. So for example, in neuro, we could see a lot of wait time. So how many patients are there? Outpatients alone per day, 50 to 60 patients are coming. Okay, why? What is the reason for 50 patients are coming, fine. Why the waiting time is too high? Because only one doctor is there. See, now you understood, right? Unless you see these metrics in the form of dashboard, how will you get to know where the problem is, right? You need to keep monitor. Only when you monitor, you can improve the process. So, okay, by knowing this, we can propose a solution to reduce the waiting, right? And also reduce costs, right? That might, directly affect the department also, right? So that is also the reason why, they use the metric. These metrics drives the business, or helpful in terms of, improving their process and also increasing their top and bottom line. Likewise, different department have different objectives. So even in the case of marketing, if you look at it, marketing, right? How many number? What is the traffic sources for my website? How many number of customers per day or on an average per week they are visiting my website? What is the conversion rate? What is the bounce rate? Right? These are the metrics that are helpful in terms of understanding. Understand. Supposing my traffic sources or my traffic to my website is not that good during weekend, then something wrong. Probably put some attractive blogs, interesting blogs, or some engaging topics, or some videos, or some events. If you conduct it, that can improve the traffic to your website. These are all the simple example, right? So and also probably you can launch some campaigns to promote your the business. And also when it comes to finance department, so we have finance department, marketing department, they have their own KPIs, like what is the traffic sources to my website, and from which site my customers are coming in. Let's say I give an advertisement in Google AdWords. Is it because of Google AdWords the traffic is coming to more traffic is coming to my website, and what is the conversion rate, right? So these are all the objective of the marketing department, based on which they will decide what action they can take, right? If the traffic is more because of the traffic sources are from Google AdWords, right? There is no second thought in terms of investing money in Google AdWords. Invest more. If you want to earn more, yes, invest more. Similarly, when it comes to the finance department, right? Finance department, what kind of KPIs they use? They use return on asset, right? The working capital, return on equity, and other metrics are like, right? What is the gross profit margin? The finance department, they wanted to know what is the gross profit margin and what is the net profit margin and operating profit margin. And they use something like OPEX ratio also. Okay. So likewise, different metrics they use it. These metrics help them to get a quick glimpse about where how the business is happening, and how the business is happening, okay, and where the course correction needs to be taken, right? They can come up with quickly by seeing these metrics. And different department have different the objectives when it comes to reporting, right? The key metrics also differs from one department to another department. So end of the day, you have to perform analytics no matter what business you do it. If you want to thrive or be successful in your business, you need to have the data in hand, and having the data is not sufficient. You need to have sophisticated reporting tools, and you need to, or if you don't have the reporting tool, you need to have good developers, right? Report developers, or those are good in Python, or if you are using the AWS, there is something like Quick Insight. They should be knowing how to import the data and how to generate the reports. Okay, you need to have the right set of skills and tools and people with you, only then you should be able to perform analytics. These reports should be made available on time so that you can make the decision at the right time. In case something goes wrong, right, I can step in, I can make the course correction then and there. Delaying the action, right, if I delay any action in terms of addressing any specific issues, I'm gone. Supposing we could see that there is a significant decrease in profit in a specific category of a product, right? So what we do is we do some analysis by looking at the dashboard and the reports. We get to know the expenses very high this time. The reason for decrease in my net profit is there is a increase in my expense. Why? When you do deeper when you take a deeper dive in performing further analysis, you will get to know, oh man, something went wrong here. Where we are purchasing the raw material still from a vendor who used to supply us with higher cost. Actually, we purchased the products 2 months back because the same raw material was not available from the vendors who we used to purchase it frequently, because those vendors offers those product at a very a cheaper price. Somehow my people, right, they forgot to order it from the my past customers, they vendors, right, mistakenly they are still ordering it from my the recent vendor who sells the product at the higher cost. Unless you see the report, how will you get to know, right? So by seeing this, you need to take the action immediately. If you delay any further, you will be keep on purchasing. It's something like, right, we swipe the credit card. Let's say I want to buy some images in a website. They say, okay, it's a month on month, we will deduct it. If you don't need it, you can stop it. I used my card, I downloaded my images, but end of the day I forgot to disable my card. Every month they will deduct from your account. Unless you monitor every month your statement, credit card statement or debit card statement, right, you will not have a control on your cost, right? You will not have a control on your cost. So that is where the analytics is comes into picture. Analytics plays a vital role. It is not a luxury. It is an essential part. Okay. Now what we will do is we will try to understand what is data science and what are the jargons surrounding these data science or artificial intelligence. We will take a look at it, and followed by this, let's try to understand what exactly machine learning is all about, and what is deep learning, why deep learning, and what are the various types of machine learning algorithms are available. Okay, and then we'll understand the linear regression algorithm. Okay, what is simple linear regression, what is multiple linear regression, and first of all, when we are supposed to use linear regression algorithm, and how to train the linear regression model, how to evaluate the linear regression model, and how to implement the linear regression model using R and Python. And apart from evaluating the model, your model is nothing but machine learning model. Okay, we need to use some so we need to validate some assumptions in order to understand how well my model is performing it, whether my model, linear regression model, is adhering to the assumptions. We will see what is assumption and all. Hope you remember I discussed about the assumptions as part of ANOVA test and hypothesis and all, right? So all the statistical test, most of the statistical test makes some assumptions, right? Your population data should be normally distributed. That is one of the common assumption, right? And similarly, right, when it comes to linear regression also, it makes some assumptions. Not all the algorithms make assumption, like how most of the statistical test make some assumption. Not all the algorithms make a assumption. Only the linear regression and logistic regression these two algorithm make some assumption, but there are some statistical tests are available in order to validate these assumptions. Okay, just give me a second. Somebody's ringing at my door. 1 second.